G'day everyone, Goober here with a bit of a build update. I noticed that my last video on the Youga2 was only 2 billion DPS, which I'm pretty sure immediately after that build guide I managed to hit 4 billion DPS. So here is a quick look at the DPS of my build at the moment. I don't do a ridiculous amount of damage. I don't really have that great gear. I'm trying to spend as little as possible because I do have an 8,000 FE giveaway going at the moment, and I dare say that will be completed relatively soon, and I'll have to pay out the FE crafts. So as you can see, it averages around about 4 to 6 billion DPS in damage spirits, and in my everyday mapping spirits I get around about 2 billion, 3 billion, something like that. So pretty casual 3 billion DPS, 2 to 3 billion for drop spirits, which lets you farm 8081 extremely easily. You just run through one tap everything. I believe if you're running around trying to tank rare monsters, then you're probably doing content that's too hard for you, and you can be far more efficient by going down a little bit. I say this because I haven't been in Profound. I don't know how good the loot is there, but people are watching my videos where I get 300 or 400 FE an hour, so I'm going to guess that people are pushing too hard, too early, and not really farming to their full potential, basically. So I'm just going to quickly go over my gear. That's probably one of the biggest changes over the last video. More tier 1 affixes on gear. I managed to get affliction effect on the weapon. If you're wondering how to do dream affixes, which are the top ones there, notated by this little blue flower, you can have a maximum of 3 dream crafted items on you at any one time. I have the helmet, the gloves, and the weapon. I probably should go 2 weapons and go double affliction effect or something like that, but I haven't got that right now. You just go down to Paddy the Daydreamer, go to Dream Interpretation, and select the item that you want to dreamcraft. It does unequip your item when you do this, so just be aware of that. You'll have to re-equip it. Just select the item. If you have the currency, you go Dream Interpretation. All of the possible outcomes are listed on the left, with all of the possible downsides listed on the right. It has been simplified. When you take a positive, you take a negative as well. It doesn't stop you from crafting on the item, it just adds a positive and a negative affix. Anywho, back to the gear. So 2 weapons. This weapon is still item level 84, can be upgraded quite easily, and I'll probably look at doing that very shortly. Someone pointed out that reap purification is only 25% of your reap now, not 65%. So getting reap duration on stuff is actually really good. The gloves that I just finished crafting, my old gloves also had reap duration on it, so I guess I was doing something right there accidentally. And I have it on the new gloves as well. On the rings, you can either go these, or if you want to spend an absolute bucket load of currency, you can get priceless rings with reap, affliction effect, dot damage, and reap duration on it for a whole bunch of extra damage, but you'll lose this affix here, which isn't too bad. I've got both corroded the same, which is a shame. They're both 1 second, so they're not too bad. Onto the belt, it's the same affixes as last time. These are just tier 1 versions instead. Same with the neck. I saw a neck up for 277 flame elementium that was basically like this, but all tier 1 for 300 flame elementium. I ended up crafting this one for about 120, which was an absolute bargain. Ended up hitting the T1s really, really quickly, which is fantastic. Same helmet that I had before, same chest that I had before, new gloves, same boots that I had before. Another thing that I have just started upgrading, as you'll see in a second, they are not ideal. I ran out of currency and I didn't want to buy more, which is my hero memories. This one is quite reasonable. It's got erosion damage, attack block chance, affliction effect. I should probably switch out that attack block chance for reap cooldown reduction. However, as I just said, I don't have a whole lot of money to spare because I'm saving up for the Showdown Prizes. I upgraded Memory of Disciple level 2 for an ES and reap cooldown recovery speed, and skill area was just the extra part on that. And I managed to roll dot damage. I went with the orange ones because you can have 2 random affixes, so I'll be able to get dot damage and erosion damage, or dot damage and affliction damage on both of these extra items. This one rolled attack block chance and I didn't have any currency left. I will be getting these up to 40 and completing that. Again, just still got pain amplification on here. Onto talent points. I have got a couple of extra points over the last time. They just went into max energy shield here. Onto Warlock. You can always pause this if you need an update. I will update the build code as well. That will be in the description. Onto the statue of the new god. I can't remember which ones I had in the previous video. I haven't upgraded these in a very long time, and they are all just +1 persistent, and if there's erosion or damage on them, that's all these have. They are not good. This is probably absolutely worthless by now. 70 flame elementium. It's actually still worth more than I thought, but you could definitely get far better gear in this area than I have, and far surpass 6 billion DPS. Onto the skills. I want a soul candle with grudge, however I don't have 4000 flame elementium for that. I did grab a new soul candle. It has erosion damage, dot damage, and additional erosion damage. If you don't know, the plus dot damage and plus erosion damage is additive, and the additional is multiplicative. And the downside to that, who cares? I don't do lightning damage or fire damage. So that's the basic skills. The other soul candle adds cataclysm to this. You would use cataclysm over guard if you didn't have that soul candle. Use mana boil over arcane circle. Arcane circle is a smaller area, and mana boil is just always up with some blurry steps. I was going to say blurry steps, but whatever you want to call it, I guess. Furry steps. Extended duration, just to have that up as much as possible. Starstalker, corruption, and then the auras. This gets asked almost every single time someone sees the 4 auras. On the last one, you either need a lot of mana compensation, or you need off the beaten track, and you must have restrain on every single one, and you must have 3 supports. If I take this off, it won't work. I can't seal enough. The 95% from off the beaten track enables me to have that up, and for some reason reserving more times 0.95 is better than having less times 0.95, but I don't know. It kind of makes sense to me, but then it also doesn't. My energy is absolute garbage. I need to sort that out, and then I could add more supports, but that's all I have for now in that space. So I've gone over the skills, I've gone over the talents, the hero traits. The pack spirits that I am using are basically just drop pack spirits for mapping. You saw that damage in my DPS. I don't really roll for DPS pack spirits, so this is just stuff that has dropped randomly over the time. Dot damage, chance for ailments, affliction effect. It's basically just dot damage and affliction effect, dot damage, affliction effect. And yeah, so that guy over here, I have greedy hands, dot damage, affliction effect. And in the last spot is this little guy who has dot damage, affliction effect, and skill effect duration. That is my update for the MC Youga2. If you want to check out the extreme versions, you can always just go to the Supreme Showdown, which is this one here. Go to rankings and select the guy on top, and this is what an absolute ton of FE can get you. Some absolutely mental weapons. You can pause on any of these to have a better look, but I don't have anywhere near enough currency to do this. Eternity just keeps going up and up and up. 15k for the worst one. Over here he's got affliction, reap cooldown, and spell damage. Damage, block chance, dot, and ES. Okay, it's gone for a bit of tanky tank. Skill area, erosion damage, affliction effect, soul candles, control spell, and grudge. So that is a ridiculous 3.5k. But then he's also got an obscene amount of FE in his slates, which is all dot damage and that sort of thing. That's actually not bad. But anyway, I won't dwell on his character. His skills are pretty much the same as mine, I believe. He uses Black Hole instead of Starstalker. For start, because he's not using the chest for the force start basically on Reap. So he's just gone with more damage over here instead. I guess force start is a good way of getting around that, because it is up. It's got a 0.1 second interval. Huh. This has a 6-second cooldown, so every 6 seconds his energy shield is starting. Interesting. Anywho, that's all I've got for this video. Just a quick build update, and I will see you all in the next one. Cheers.